New this morning, a 64-year-old West Fargo man is dead after a rollover on I-94 near Fergus Falls.
The Minnesota State Patrol says a pickup driver left the road last night around 6:30 and rolled into the highway median. Troopers plan to release more information today at noon. Also new this morning, a 9-year-old boy was killed and a 10-year-old boy was hurt in an ATV crash in central Minnesota. The
Morrison County Sheriff's Office says the 10-year-old was driving the side-by-side in a cornfield in Lakin Sunday night when he lost control and the vehicle rolled. Both boys were thrown from the ATV. One man is fighting for his life and could face DUI charges after a crash in the Southern Valley. The North Dakota Highway Patrol says it happened along Highway 13 near Wyndmere around 2 this morning when a car veered into the opposite lane of traffic and hit a semi head-on.
The driver of the car, a 40-year-old man from South Dakota, was airlifted to Fargo with serious injuries. The driver of the semi is expected to be okay.
We have new information this morning on a bicycle semi crash that critically injured a 10-year-old Crookston girl. The Minnesota State Patrol is now identifying the driver of that semi as 73-year-old Duane Schuveler of Monoman. The victim is in a Fargo hospital with life-threatening injuries.
The crash happened around 5:30 last night near North Broadway and 2nd Street, which is part of Highway 2 through the city. Police say it appears the girl was hit by the rear wheels of the semi as the driver was making a right turn, and that the girl and her bike got tangled up in the wheels. The semi came to a stop about a block and a half later.
That child was airlifted to Fargo. There's no word on her condition right now this morning.
8 minutes before 7 o'clock. Let's get a check of our Tuesday forecast as we're expecting another summer-like day.
Yes, we are. We're looking at 80s making a return again today, and with that comes the wind as well. Right now we're looking at a live view in Devil's Lake at home of economy, that orange-red glow on the horizon as that sun is a little more slow to rise here as we're working our way through October. You can actually kind of make out that waning crescent moon, just a little sliver there in that morning light as well. One thing we're watching for is that wind. Not too bad right now. You can see the trees not moving much in our view. We're seeing wind speeds about 5 to 15 miles per hour out of the south or southeast this morning. They will pick up as the day goes along. So Fargo right now at 57 degrees. It's 51 in Grand Forks. Langdon is at 59. And in Jamestown and Fergus Falls, we're looking at some 50s. Bemidji, the one exception, or a couple of areas into the 40s over to the east, where we're looking at 44 degrees, some calm air leading to some fog development and dense fog at that in Bemidji. Our visibility report still at 0 at the airport in Bemidji. That's the one spot where we're dealing with the dense fog, at least at a reporting site. There could be some other areas where we have some patchy dense fog. Wheaton is a little lower at 2.5 miles, but not quite in that dense range. Something to watch, though, and consider if you're going to be driving in that area as well. Looking at your afternoon planner, we will have temperatures back in those 80s again this afternoon. We're looking at low to some mid 80s in eastern North Dakota. Into Minnesota, more into the mid 70s to some low 80s. Breezy weather going to be affecting us, especially in the second half of the day, where we're looking at those southerly gusts really picking up. So here's a look at what to expect as we go through the next several hours this morning. Gusts will be starting to get into the teens and 20s through midday. And then this afternoon, some into the 30s. And I think over in Devil's Lake, perhaps even stronger, closer to about 40 miles per hour. So a breezy one, and it's that south wind that's going to be continuing to drive in that warm air for us today. So here's a look at that bus stop planner. Expect temperatures that are going to be back into the 50s as we're stepping outside and getting ready to get on the bus. Some sunny skies once the sun is up. Of course, that happens after the 7:30 time frame. And then this afternoon, stepping off the bus again, we're looking at some 80s, but that breezy weather going to be with us. So make sure that you're ready for a little bit more wind today. And then, of course, as we head into the rest of the week, we've been talking about this, changes happening as we head into the weekend.
All right, yeah, some pretty nice temperatures out there. The air conditioner, once again, getting a workout today. Lisa, thank you. Yeah.
There's new information this morning on Facebook's worldwide service outage. They're now saying it happened because of a faulty configuration change. The platforms are back online and they are working on full functionality.
Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp were knocked offline around the world for more than 6 hours yesterday. Facebook wouldn't load at all for many people, and Instagram and WhatsApp wouldn't load new material or send messages. The company says there is no evidence that user data was compromised during that downtime.
Homes are being evacuated in a Rapid City, South Dakota neighborhood that's being threatened by a large and fast-moving grass fire. It started yesterday afternoon and quickly needed help from the air.
The grassland fire danger for that area was listed as very high. There's no word of a cause and no reports of any injuries. Some people are now calling for consequences against the Bismarck Tavern after a shooting early Sunday. That is the second this year near that bar. A man who lives in an apartment above the Bismarck tells Valley News Live that he saw it all go down around 2 Sunday morning.
Police say 2 men and 2 women were fighting. One of the women is now recovering after being shot in the leg. The 2 men are still on the run. A woman who lives and works in the area says she heard the loud pop that night but dismissed it as fireworks.
A little scary, but being kind of next to the bars and stuff, I can't say it's too out of the realm of possibility.
The Bismarck has been a topic of discussion for the Liquor Control Board and the City Commission. Many people have asked for the bar to be held to the same standards as the African nightclub. That club has until October 21st to sell its liquor license or it has to shut down.
Commissioner Tony Gehrig says as far as he knows, Sunday morning's incident has not been confirmed to be connected to the Bismarck. But if it is, he says owners will face consequences. In our consumer alert this morning, COVID-19 is turning into a pain in the rear for babies and their parents. There's a diaper shortage going on. 1 in 3 American families are feeling it.
Experts from the National Diaper Bank Network say that number likely increased during the pandemic, which continues to disrupt the global supply chain. That caused manufacturers to increase their prices, putting a strain on families struggling to get by and causing a diaper depletion at many stores nationwide.
As sugar beet drivers make their way onto the roads during harvest season, make sure you are paying extra attention on the road around them.
And the Valley Today's Brian Sherrod, he joins us live this morning with advice from authorities on what you need to know as you see those trucks going up and down the road. Good morning, Brian.
And good morning, Jordan, Lisa. You can already hear the sugar beet trucks coming in and loading up and getting themselves ready to head on the roads like you just mentioned. So you want to make sure you're being extra cautious around them as you're on the road because they are much bigger than your vehicles. So in a crash, it's going to cause way more damage to your vehicle than it is to theirs. Now, according to the Clay County Sheriff's Office, if you are driving, remember to use patience. These larger vehicles take a lot more time to stop and to get going. Don't drive too close because sugar beets could be flying off the backs and sides of these trucks. And make sure to be ready for all weather conditions, making the roads and your sight while driving even more dangerous.
Pay extra attention to those trucks because sometimes the lights on the trucks, they get dirty from driving around in the fields and things like that. You may not see the brake lights that well. You may not see the turn signals that well.
Now, Sheriff Empting also said that distracting driving also happens to be a big problem within the area. So we want to make sure you put that phone away and make sure you're also keeping both hands and your eyes on the road. He's also saying that there's going to be no extra patrol or any services during this time. So you should be using your own caution when traveling on the road. Everything I just mentioned can be found at valleynewslive.com.
Brian Sherrod reporting live. An important update this time of the year. Thank you.
A $700 million Powerball ticket. It has been sold, but it's probably not yours. It was sold in California. Sorry for that news. The state's lottery website says the ticket was bought at a grocery store in Morro Bay.
It's worth $699 million if the winner or winners take an annuity. If taken as cash, the prize is $496 million. The next Powerball drawing is tomorrow. It's estimated at $20 million.
That seems so low when
It
compared
does.
to the other number.
I'm going to wait to buy a ticket till it's more. Let's get our answer now to our question of the morning on Facebook. 15% of Americans say they definitely judge people by their blank.
The answer is their phone. Remember, you can play along every single day, but we don't judge you here. We just appreciate your watching. Now remember that Today's Show and CBS This Morning are just about to start. The Valley Today rolls on. More live up-to-the-minute news and weather coming up on the Fargo CW.
Have a great day, everyone.